It's 3 months later, the hype is down, and now it's time to see if the 14-inch MacBook Pro has lived up to its anticipated hype, or was it all just an unnecessary expense? Today's video is being brought to you in partnership with Epidemic Sound. If you upload any type of video content to any of the social media online platforms, whether personal or commercial, Epidemic Sound, music library, and sound effects has you covered. And I have you covered with a 30-day free trial link down in the description below. Let's get into it. Okay, so one thing that we need to know is I use this 14-inch MacBook Pro as the brain of my setup. This is the main base of my workstation, meaning I use it well beyond its portable capabilities, plugging it into a 5K external monitor, plugging it into external audio interfaces, plugging it into multiple external hard drives, as well as many other unseen gadgets, which means that this laptop and chip configuration is being pushed day in and day out. And yes, I'm running the controversial M1 Max 14-inch build variant, which a lot of people question the value of, the return on investment, and the outright necessity. And rightfully so, but we'll get more into that later. Design. So from a design standpoint, I think the 14-inch models hit a sweet spot, especially if you opt in to dock your MacBook Pro or use it in combination with an external monitor, as I choose to. It's small enough to tuck away and fit, yet powerful enough to drive just about anything. Now, in portable situations, I can see the appeal of this 16-inch model, but practicality lives within the 14-inch for me. Ports, probably one of the most important and necessary returns that should have never left, but I'm glad they're back. 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, MagSafe, HDMI out, and the highly anticipated return of the SD card slot, which I use every single day that I record video and photo. Oh, and it's fast. Like, I'm putting V90 cards and it handles them with no hiccup. So we can say that usability has truly returned to the MacBook Pro. So display, single-handedly the best display on any laptop on the market. So much so it puts many external monitors to shame, including the one that I own. We got ProMotion, mini LED, and most of all, color accuracy. And if you even attempt to find an external monitor that can match this display, be prepared to reach deep into your pocketbook because it's far from cheap. Basically, I check every single creative project on this 14-inch display before anything gets approved, and that remains true to this day 3 months later. Now, battery life, let's talk about it. For those of you expecting to be out and about and doing high-level tasks, high-taxing, battery-efficient, energy-consuming tasks, please bring your MagSafe charger. But if you're gonna be doing the typical everyday casual use, maybe a little light pro activities, then this is gonna do what the M1 does. The M1 is all about efficiency and performance, and it will deliver on that. Again, for pro level, high-end tasks, bring your MagSafe charger. Performance, this is where the controversy actually begins. But before we get into those tidbits, I need to tell you about today's video partner, Epidemic Sound. If you do any type of online content creation, I'm telling you guys, now you need properly licensed audio or sound effects. You can't just go around willy-nilly using any and everybody's music. They own the copyrights to that, which means they own compensation behind that project being used. And if you don't have proper licenses or permission, you run into trouble, like losing your monetization, DMCA takedowns, and worst of all, losing all of your hard work. So to avoid that, me and Epidemic Sound are bringing you a 30-day free trial, access to the expansive library for music and sound effects. You cover yourself and remove all headaches here on the online platform of the internet. Whether YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, Epidemic Sound has you covered, and I do too, with the 30-day free trial link in the description. Now back to the controversy. All right, so after many benchmark tests, battery tests, performance tests, and so on, the community was absolutely split in between the M1 Max and the M1 Pro variant. Which one should you buy? How much should you spend? Which offers the best value? As a longtime owner of the M1 Max, I can say this. For me, the performance has been absolutely 100,000% phenomenal, and I'm so thankful that I gave myself the headroom that I did in order to grow. Now, was it necessary? In many cases, no, but in more cases Then that, yes. Basically, I can slice and dice any and everything I choose to without reaching any ceilings or cutoff points. And that's extremely valuable to me. And that best describes my 3 months of performance with this 14-inch MacBook Pro. Value. Is the M1 Max MacBook Pro configuration a good value? Absolutely. Now I'll say this, if you can't afford it or don't have a use for it, don't buy it. Get the M1 Pro. Now for the most important topic of them all, user experience. Specs mean absolutely nothing in the face of user experience, which is one area or the area that the 14-inch MacBook Pro outshines its competition. Confidence, performance, raw power, and consistency are the words that come to mind that all make up the user experience of the 14-inch MacBook Pro. And if you understand the value of those words, then you understand the value of this MacBook.